First leg, Andreas to throw first. Game on.
So we'll start with clean cut Keane Barry and dirty Harry, Andreas Harrysson. And Rob Malarkey, who I like to think is somewhere in between the two.
100.
Beautifully segued, Dan. Good afternoon, thank you. Welcome everyone to a new venue on the European Tour. Not Gibraltar, of course, but Europa Point,
100.
the setting for this Gibraltar Darts Trophy 2021. Southern tip of Europe, and as Dan said, the final staging post for qualifying for the European Championship. Could be a busy
58.
night for the number crunchers backstage as well when it comes to sorting out the 32 qualifiers. I suspect we will have a cluster of players aligned on a similar amount of prize money. Any ties for position will be taken into account this tournament first, ahead of Budapest, and then if there's a tie, we'll go to the order of merit as well to sort it all out.
83.
But that will all come out in the wash. There will be some high-profile absentees, though, from the European Championship this year. No mistake about that.
57.
Yeah, well, no world number 5 Dimitri Vandenberg for one. So, and there could be more, the likes of Krzysztof Ratajski, seeded player, but lost his first-round game last time out in Budapest.
60.
Loses his first-round game tomorrow, his opening game, I should say.
And as we've said on the way here, the random nature of the draw has thrown up the possibility for maybe
140.
one of the Gibraltarian qualifiers to get through. Who knows if they come through their opening match today?
3, maybe all 4. This looks like the best set of Gibraltar players that I've seen.
Yeah, certainly the
100.
youth element. We've got the likes of
64.
Dyson Parodi, of course, who's been on the block for years, but yeah, plenty of young guns. Here's another one as well, Keane Barry, looking at double 16.
32.
Only looking at it.
As you require 100.
Oh, double. How
He's
about
on the
that,
first leg,
Sturdy
Andreas.
Harrison?
Second
Wow,
leg, Keane to
2 double
throw
tops.
first.
I have to
Game
say,
on.
when the first dart went just above the treble 20, I thought it looked quite inviting to stay there. That's inviting.
190.
Harrison's had to wait his time to make his second appearance on the
41.
European Tour. He qualified for this tournament way back in February of 2020 in the Nordic qualifiers. He had 14
99.
attempts at European Tour qualification, made it eventually to Riesa last year. Now he's backed it up almost straight away by making his way to Gibraltar as well. He must have thought, actually, he
30.
might not get the chance this year, but maybe grateful to be here and making the most of it so far.
Now, we've just seen the World Series return, which
58.
involved a whole host of players from the Nordic and Baltic region. Andreas Harrysson not among them, of course.
60. Can you require 164?
164 won't go, but Keane Barry is miles and
60.
miles in front in this one. Yeah, Andreas didn't compete in the one sort of week of action they held up in Iceland, so he wasn't in the rankings there, so didn't get a spot at the
57.
World Series
Can you
event.
require 104?
But as you say, the qualifying for this happened absolutely donkeys ago.
72.
Just needs to adjust the radar, Keane Barry, because the 2 attempts at double 16 he's had have both ended up quite some way outside.
Yeah, and it's just as well he has got this big cushion in this leg as well, with Harrysson
59.
only weighing in with 59 there, so still some way for him to go. Keane Barry has plenty more darts in hand here at double 16. He needs
second
just the
leg,
one,
Keane Barry.
and he's on level terms at one
Third leg,
apiece.
Andreas to throw
The UK
first.
qualifier
Game
for,
on.
or the tour card holder qualifier for this, for Keane Barry, was a much more recent affair. It was in early July in Coventry. He beat Dimitri Vandenberg in his second
60.
qualifier, actually, so that's the reason why we won't see Vandenberg in the European Championship this year. He beat Lewis Williams in his other one 6-0. Just further indications of what
81.
Keane Barry is capable of and what he is doing on a fairly regular basis as well. He's had a good year on the Pro Tour. He made a quarter-final not too long ago on the Players' Championship Series.
60.
Yeah, well, his run to the final day on the European Tour in Hungary means that he's going to be at the European Championship, barring freak results. In fact, I think he's guaranteed.
140.
I haven't done all the maths, but I think he's pretty much guaranteed. It would be an absolute freak for him not to be there on £4,000. So he can play with a bit of freedom here. I mean, the World Grand Prix is probably too far away, but hey, you know, stranger things have happened. We've seen the likes of Jamie Lewis
100.
in this tournament reach the final, lose out to Phil Taylor, granted, but it got him into the World Match Play that year.
And it wasn't a massive shock, but we did have a fairly unexpected winner of this tournament last time around, with Ratajski doing the business at the end of 2019.
Important ton 40 from the Swede.
60.
Keane Barry.
160.
Well, got to stay straight, the pair of them here. Good start. Ooh, couldn't follow.
140.
Keane
Can you require
only needs the one
120?
treble with his first two darts. Can't get it.
60. Andreas, you require 20.
Well, anxious times, though, for Harrysson here on throw with 3 darts at double 10.
Game shot on the
Finishing's
third
been
leg.
good, though. Tops, and now a double 10, so
Full leg Keane to
Harrysson,
throw first.
statements
Game
of intent so far on his finishing. It's promising stuff for the Swedish qualifier.
Oh, lovely.
190.
Well, it's the mark of somebody very, very exciting. Follows it with one of his own, Andreas Harrysson. But Keane Barry, when he gets that dart on the bottom wire, and that's close, and that's perfect.
140.
Desperately unlucky. Yeah, phenomenally talented player. When you look at some of his averages this year as well. Only 19 years old. A couple of the Gibraltarian qualifiers are a similar age as well, who we'll see later on today. Looking forward to seeing those two in action, actually.
Yeah, Justin Hewitt impressed me at the World Cup. We'll see him playing again. Craig Galliano here
93.
as well. As Keane leaves himself on a potential 11-darter. Harrysson, who's had a good leg himself,
60.
only just crawling to a finish.
74. Andreas, you require 161.
Yeah, still one or two question marks about Barry's finishing. Early days, admittedly. Harrysson has been spot on so far, but the 161's not going to go, so Keane Barry will return. Looking at double 7 to level things up once
49.
again. 3 legs on throw so far. Awkward.
Yeah,
But tidies up very well indeed, and it is 4 successive holes of throw to start things off here in Gibraltar.
Well, although the likes of double 7, double 3, double 2 can be daunting for a lot of players, you wouldn't think they would be as much for Keane with the way that his darts line the board, because if he does miss just a little low, oh, there's that wild dart you see from Keane every now and again. You do get, and that's not as wild as some of them. Some of them will be disappearing into the 13s and 11s and all sorts of stuff. He only tends to get one every few legs, but
97.
Genuinely, it's just his whole action, his throwing action is so quick that he's not got it set in his fingers right when he goes through with it.
96. $140.
Lovely shot there from Andreas, who's... He does approach it in a similar way to Keane, where he seems to be quite happy to stack them on top of one another. They don't lie down quite as dramatically as Keane Barry's do.
Yeah, a couple of sloppy visits for Keane Barry in this leg. I think it's going to prove his undoing in this one.
92.
No massive damage done because it is on the Harrysson throw, but sooner or later he's going to have to make his move.
96. Andreas, you require 32.
Well, not Mr. Dart at double yet, Andreas Harrysson.
Yeah, you're showing the fifth leg.
Missed that one either. This is really good stuff so far for Dirty Harrysson.
Game on.
Clean finishing all the way so far for the Swede. And just another little reminder for Keane Barry, who is
140.
shading it in the averages, but it's not really counting for a great deal so far because Harrisson's finishing has been absolutely spot on.
Well, let's show you the first 9 averages, because that really does tell a story.
125
for Keane Barry, only 86 for Andreas Harrysson. In fact, his overall average, Andreas Harrysson is just playing at exactly the same pace from start to finish at the start of a leg. Keane Barry is seeing his average drop because he's missing darts at double, usually down the bottom left corner of the board and usually quite a long way outside.
81.
Let's see if that scoring power can A, keep him holding his throw, and B, just craft that opportunity
83.
to get the one break he needs. Winner of this one faces Danny Noppert, the number 13 seed here this weekend, who of course didn't play in Hungary, withdrew because of a
140.
family bereavement. We've not seen him in action since, so...
And the issue for Noppert now is that he has to win his first match as well,
Exactly.
because otherwise he'll go away with no ranking money.
100. Andreas, you require 155.
So there's pressure on him, and that's not a unique story this weekend either. Barry waiting in the wings on 87 here to level things up. Harrysson looking to apply some pressure on this 155, and he's
49.
gone wayward with his third dart as well. So
87.
that will be a helping hand for Keane Barry with this 87. 70 away.
39.
Can't find the bullseye.
Andreas, you require 106.
A chance here. Yet to miss a dart at double, only needs 1 treble. Can he get it? He can.
Yes. Double 16 for the break.
He's
And there it is. That could be a
Yes,
pivotal moment in the match. Andreas Harrysson making his move. And again, the finishing is absolutely
7
sublime.
flag Andreas to throw first.
It's got to the stage now where
Game on.
if he gets a chance, you've got to fancy him to take it every single time.
Well, there'll be a little bit of Keane Barry's brain telling him, well, he can't play like this
100.
all the way through, surely. But there'll be another bit of his brain telling him, do not give him an opportunity, because he is hitting everything.
58.
And he's only 2 legs away.
He overcame Benito van der Pas in that first round match in Riesa at the end of last year on the European Tour. He got beat by James Wade in his
96.
second match, but he wasn't disgraced in that one against the then world number 8.
100.
Barry actually qualified for what would have been the 3rd European Tour event of this year as well. I suspect that will hold over or carry over into 2022.
Yeah, there are discussions about that, whether it's held over, carried over, or whether it just disappears into the ether, and the only thing you get from it is a
100.
sense of achievement, having qualified for a tournament that never came to be.
Yeah. He wasn't the only one. I think Simon Whitlock was another, Rob Cross was another who qualified for the first 3, and Florian Hempel, who we'll see later on as well. Promising German
63.
player.
Yeah, good game that against Stephen Bunting, first one of the evening session. We've got some crackers this afternoon, and this one could bubble up into something special, but Andreas Harrysson has left himself
95.
170.
Andreas, you require 170.
And I think he'd have to go for this if he did get the first 2 trebles. Great first start.
Oh,
Gotta go.
surely not. He's not a million miles away. It's a rare blemish on his finishing
148.
record so far, but he'll be hopeful of coming back unless Keane Barry can take out this 148, and he won't.
100. Andreas, you
Well, he
require
went for it.
25.
I think he probably needed to, but it does leave an occasionally awkward 25 to clear up.
He's on the
Just
7
when
flag.
Keane Barry would have thought, is he starting to
Over
miss the
Keane to
doubles?
throw first.
Andreas
Game on.
Harrysson pins that one last dart, and it has to be 4 legs on the spin for the Irish teenager
60.
if he is to find a way through to round 2.
Well, Harrysson, okay, he's missed a dart at a bullseye and 1 dart at double 8, but otherwise it's been very, very encouraging so far for him on the finishing. And as you say, just steady
100.
scoring has really just got him into those positions. He's not been explosive by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just been enough so far, more than enough. And once he got that break,
96.
you suspected he could well go on and finish the job. He's not there yet, but it's looking very, very good indeed for him.
42. 100. 87.
That front line average for Keane has come down a little bit as well.
57.
And he's losing his way a little bit just when he needs to start giving himself something to work with.
Well, he just looks like a man who's been demoralised. Because
60.
Andreas Harrysson has struggled to live with him in the scoring, but has just gobbled up every opportunity that has come his way.
83.
And you're right, I mean, I think Keane would have come into this regarding this as pretty much a free hit, because he is effectively guaranteed his place at the European Championship, but there are other doors to be opened as well, and he's on the verge of going out in the first match of the day.
You require 105.
Well, you can't let him have a go at that 1-1-2. Double 14. And misses it again.
91. Andreas, you require 112.
Oh, for another ton plus checkout. Can he get the treble he needs? He can't.
52.
Well, for the second time today, Keane is looking at double 7. He missed it first time, had to go round the houses, but this time he gets it spot on, and he had to as well. Keeps his tournament going, keeps his hopes alive with double 7, 5-3. Harrysson throwing for the match.
$100. 60. $100.
If Harrysson does make it to the European Championship later this year, that would be his latest appearance on TV, competed in the BDO World Championship at the start of 2020.
131.
Had the misfortune of playing the #1 seed Wesley Harms in his opening match. He came through his prelim okay, but Harms beat him 3-2 in the end.
Well, this is it. There's an enormous opportunity. Winners today get £2,000 in
60.
ranking money, and it goes on their European Tour Order of Merit. That might be enough to reach the European Championship.
I suspect it will be.
For some of them.
Some might miss out with 2, but some will get in on 2. And if you pick up 2,000 here, that counts more than 2,000 in Budapest. So
exactly. Andreas Harrysson, obviously, way, way down in the world. Doesn't even have a world ranking at the moment. So he's not in a great position in that regard.
125.
But he's going up against the Danny Noppet, who hasn't played a lot of darts lately. Assuming he can get through this one.
97. Andreas, you require
Keane
100.
just tapping him on the shoulder. That has not been a problem for Andreas Harrysson so far in this match. Can still do it.
Well, he can. But it would have been a dart at the bullseye again, which he missed in the previous
52.
leg. But
yeah,
just danger signs here for Harrysson. With Barry looking at 130, the first dart has gone into the treble 1, and that just about sums up his day so far.
43.
Well, a let-off there for Harrysson, because Barry had the chance to, well, at least put some pressure on, if not finish things off with that 130. Harrysson looking at 64 for the match. And he's now looking at tops. His finishing has been, in the main, pretty good today, and he's rounded it off in style as well with tops. Started off with tops, finishes it with tops, and Keane Barry, well, no dynamite, explosive play from Keane Barry.